you see here, what are we doing here? We're having simple is good, sit there, little child, basic reality, Jesus loves me. We've gone to the depths of despair with our minor version, right? We've done the sitting there, just mental exhilaration, enjoying our classical sonata version of Jesus Loves Me. We've done march, forward march. We've done waltzing, okay? We've done calypso, all right? Now, before we go too far down the path of jive, I want to make sure we fill in some of the other bases. So, let's just try another another approach here. Now, where might you find music like that being appreciated? Well, how about down at Bill's Bar?
Yes, jazz bar.
Friday afternoon, happy hour, you know. Joe comes in, he's burnt out, been a tough week. Margarita, please. Okay? This music is going in the background, kind of aimless, kind of detached, maybe lazy, slightly depressed. Schmaltz. Okay? Jesus Loves Me, Schmaltz style. You still recognize the melody. Well, still, we kind of have to, well, yeah, I guess that was Jesus Loves Me, but if you didn't know that was Jesus Loves Me, if you didn't know this was expressing, this wonderful thought, Jesus loves me, it might not be the first thing that occurs to you if you just heard that music, right? How did we achieve that effect? Well, let's see. Slowed it down again. And this time, the main thing I did was some different harmonic treatments, okay? Really, everything, you notice there was not a lot of displaced rhythms. Everything was pretty, right on the beat, so forth. But what created some of our effects was what I, added seconds, sixths, and sevenths in the harmony, okay? Extra notes that aren't normally in the chords that give it that schmaltzy feeling, okay? So every time when I had, instead of having a chord like this, I'd always do either this to it, or, okay, just change one note a half step. Completely different feeling, okay? The sixths, the same thing. But, and that's what gave it kind of this aimless wandering about. And sometimes I just threw in some just gratuitous dissonance, okay? All right? But just want to make sure we're covering these bases, okay? What music can do. Well, okay. Now something for audience participation. I'm going to put all you folks on the spot here. We are going to do a musical SAT, Spiritual Aptitude Test. All right? Now here's how it works. I will go back and sit down at the piano, and I'm going to play something, all right? And then you are supposed to focus carefully on what's being played. And when I am finished, okay, I'll look up at the audience and I'm going to kind of observe and see if you folks are doing what you should be doing after hearing this kind of music, okay? Spiritual aptitude test. I don't know, this audience. Boy, I'll tell you, we're going to have to change the standards on the SAT, right? Spiritual aptitude test. What are you supposed to be doing? Well, worshiping. You're supposed to be worshiping now, believe it or not, right? Isn't that seem to be the fashion these days? You sing or listen to a kind of monotonous, uninteresting collection of notes again and again and again until your eyes glaze over and boom, a channel to God has been opened, right? I mean, that would seem to be the case. I haven't really heard anybody express it in those words. But, I have been, in the worship services where 45 minutes and maybe you did all 4 verses of one song or something like that, and it was over, and you kind of look around you and, hey, man, I think those people are kind of starting to almost get there, I mean, is it hypnosis or is it worship, I'm having a little bit of fun, okay? Not all repetition is wrong, but okay, you get the idea, okay? Well, that was the spiritual aptitude test. So we did the spiritual aptitude test. Let's do the worldliness aptitude test. Now, we're going to listen to a track for the worldliness aptitude test. Okay? And just listen. Here's what the test is. You just listen to this. And then I ask you a question or two. Okay? And that determines your worldliness quotient. Well, I must say, as we go through this afternoon, now some of the tracks may be rather high decibel. Okay, just prepare yourself for that. We want to enjoy the full flavor, okay, of these examples. Okay, now here's the question. It's only a one question test. How many of you and of I secretly liked that music? Okay? I mean, I did. Yeah. Now, you know, this music, I've got to admit it, has a lot of grab to it, okay? A lot of grab to this music. Now, I used to practice that on piano, you know, but I decided to just use recording. You know, when I wrote that arrangement, okay, you'll notice, all the wonderful things I did. By the way, what song was that? Jesus Loves Me. You did recognize that melody, right? Jesus Loves Me. Now, you might not have noticed this wonderful effect. I actually did God Is So Good first, and then punched into Jesus Loves Me. Okay. A bunch of old rock and roll cliches. Da, 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 ba, da, ba, da, ba, ba, ba. Okay, a bunch of old rock and roll type cliches, musical cliches. A lot of grab to this music, okay? This is, you know, I mean, this music feels good. If you let yourself feel it, okay, it can feel pretty good. Driving beat, rhythmic displacement in both the harmony and melody. Does the message of the music fit with the words? One thing I want us to really understand this afternoon is that the message of the music is often stronger than the message of the words. It can be opposite the message of the words.